I don't care. You guys ready?
Yeah.
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 All right. Let's do it before I really would not want this to die because we would not be able to finish the Grinch. So let's hope that this at least lasts through this book.
Hope we keep our fingers crossed here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Nope. Oh, well. All right. You guys will get.
Yeah.
You'll see most of it. All right. So
Try to read it.
this is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You guys all know this book?
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into
I've
it.
never heard of it.
Well,
You never heard of How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
some
She's a
legendary
liar.
stuff today.
I haven't read the book, but I've seen the cartoon version.
All right. So, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. Could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight.
No.
I think that
No,
most
you bata.
the
Yeah.
most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too
No,
small.
you'll dab it flat, yeah, and then you'll circular motion all the way.
But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow he knew all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise. Oh, the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise. Then the Who's, young and old, would sit down to a feast. And they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why? For 53 years I've put up with it now. It must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a Santa Claus hat and coat. And he chuckled and clucked, what a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer, the Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, G'dap. I don't know what that word is. G'dap. And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. All the windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, there is stop number 1, the old Grinch Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Look at him stealing, guys. Stealing those presents. What a bad guy.
That's what happened next, huh?
Yeah. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch, very nimbly, stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimbley. They really tried to go for a run. They could have just
Gotta get the whole thing there.
Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who
I'm
pudding,
watching
the
it.
roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, the Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? Well, that's sad, isn't it?
Yes.
But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. Why, my little sweet tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child, then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 15:15 dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. Took everything, guys. 3,000 up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Who's, he was a Grinchishly humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up, I just know what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit.
Don't touch nothing.
And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't quite feel so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he Himself, the Grinch carved the roast beast. The end. Look
Well,
at
what
him.
do you-
The Grinch changing his heart.
East.
That was a good one.
No.
Yes.
Good story.
Nice.
Good story. Let's. What do you guys? What was your favorite part?
Where he
Sorry, the
flipped it.
I don't know.
Cindy Lou.
I don't know.
Rhyming nimbly with chimbly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good,
yeah, exactly.
such a great rhyme. Oh no. Why?
Because you wanted to do that there, huh?
Well, I know this works on the other. Oh, this one works. Okay. All right. So this one is How to Catch an Elf. Has anybody read this one before?
Not really.
No, I don't have that book.
No. Okay.
You don't have that though.
Let's see how it goes then. How to Catch an Elf. It's Christmas Eve. Hip, hip, hooray. Yes, Santa's coming round. He's bringing toys to girls and boys in every house in town.
Man.
Some kids have tried to catch him, but Santa's fast, you see. So they've set their eyes on a smaller prize, and now they're after me. I'm not my friend upon a shelf who comes each year and sits. No, I've got style and I've got grace. I'm the elf that never quits. Now Santa's ready. Time to go. I'm sure your cats are scary. I'll do my best to dodge them all and leave you feeling merry. In I go to Emma's house to make sure all is clear. A tinsel net. Oh, that's just fun. I won't get caught in here. Jaden's trap cannot be missed. I think it's double-sided. He's got his spot on my naughty list. You bet that's been decided. Another house is filled with treats. These kids are getting smarter. I can't resist the candy canes. My job is getting harder. Santa slowly lowers me into a dangerous room. If I touch down, he won't just frown. There'll be a bonbon boom. What's up with the weird words sometimes? Your Christmas
Crazy.
cake is all laid out. My work's no longer cushy. I safely brought you all your gifts, but hey, you zapped my tushy. And now my radar's perking up. This next one's quite a chore. We don't yet know what lies ahead in this family grocery store. We run inside and get caught up in an avalanche of food. We've seen all kinds of traps before, but not to this magnitude. The dinner cannon burps and spits and shoots out ham and gravy, and then it follows with dessert. Please, Santa, will you save me? We tumble down
Disgusting,
the
isn't it?
waterfall above the eggnog river, but Santa and I are an awesome team. Together we deliver. And now it's time for us to leave. Our night is nearly done. You tried your best this Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas, everyone.
You see, so at the ending part,
Yeah,
at
I think.
the ending part, he's like eating the pizza there, huh?
Yeah. What do you guys think? That was a
It
good
was
one.
not, it was cool.
The
I love
battery life is giving us
My favorite
anxiety.
part of that story is
What?
my favorite part of that story is probably when they do the word called perking up.
Yeah.
Oh, Gabby,
Yeah.
Hannah, get it, Gabs.
Wait, where'd my Kindle go?
Your 8% battery life is giving Shannon and I anxiety. 7%.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
Well, the other book doesn't work on this laptop, so I'm going to switch over. So I'll be back, guys.
All right, we'll pause. We're back. It's all you.
Back. All
And
right.
3, 2,
Yes, back.
1, action.
Back again.
What's it doing? Share. All right. I can't see no one.
Are you doing Polar Express?
Dang it, I should have guessed that. That was lame.
Everybody's gone. Now I can't see reactions. Darn it.
Are you going to do The Fault in Our Stars?
Okay. Okay.
This is a very old Kindle. that I share. So, all right. So the Polar Express. Does anybody know this book?
No, I saw the movie of it.
Watch the movie? Yeah, I've only watched the movie too. So we'll see how this book is.
Yeah, I watched
See how
it.
different it is.
Fine.
All right. On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound a friend had told me. I'd never hear the ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There is no Santa, my friend had insisted, but I know he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear sounds, though not of ringing bells. From outside came the sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. A conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest, then looked up at my window. I put on my slippers and robe. I tiptoed downstairs and out the door. All aboard, the conductor cried out. I ran up to him. Well, he said, are you coming? Where? I asked. Why, to the North Pole, of course, was his answer. This is the Polar Express. I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with with nougat centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick and rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. My computer screen is so dark. There we go. Soon there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through the cold, dark forests, where lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. These words are so small, it's hard to read. We climbed mountains so high it seemed as if we would scrape the moon, but the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice. The great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. There, said the conductor, is the North Pole. The North Pole, it was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where Christmas toys.
Quiet, children.
At first, we saw no elves. They are gathering at the center of the city, the conductor told us. This is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas. Who receives the first gift? We all asked. The conductor answered, he will choose one of you. Look, shouted one of the children, the elves. Outside, we saw hundreds of elves. As our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed to a crawl, so crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no farther, we stopped and the conductor led us outside. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. It was a magical sound, like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart and Santa Claus appeared. The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us and pointing to me said, let's have this fellow here. He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee and he asked, now, what would you like for Christmas? I knew that I could have any gift I could imagine, but the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from a reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up.
Yeah.
He stood, holding the bell high above him, and called out, the first gift of Christmas.
Try their best.
A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me, and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeers' names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed into the air. Santa circled once above us, then disappeared in the cold, dark polar sky. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I felt was a hole. I had lost the silver bell from Santa Claus's sleigh. Let's hurry outside and look for it, one of the children said, but the train gave a sudden lurch and started moving. I think that's the lurch. It's really hard to read. We were on our way home. It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. What? I yelled out. He cupped his hands around his mouth. Merry Christmas, he shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was the silver bell. There was a note. Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C. I shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said, oh, that's too bad. Yes, said my father, it's broken. When I'd shaken the bell, my parents had not heard a sound. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe. The end.
Wow.
Right.
Really? That was a short Polar Express.
I know. I thought it was way longer.
That movie's like, what, 2 hours or something?
Yeah.
What, guys, whoever's watched the movie, what were some of the differences?
The whole freaking story.
There's like an hour difference.
The length of it is like 2 hours.
There's like missing a lot of characters.
So I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if they still do it, but this was like years ago. Like I was a kid. They actually had like a train where they did the Polar Express stuff. So you could like wear your pajamas. They give you hot cocoa, and they like sing from the Polar Express.
So
You actually stayed awake through the whole movie?
I did. I was bored, and I was actually, you know what? I wasn't fully paying attention because I was wrapping gifts at the same time. I just needed something to be playing while I was wrapping.
The truth comes out.
And I only wrapped like 2 presents because it takes me forever to wrap.
Jamie
There
can
you
rap
I can rap too.
presents.
I wanted to make a joke like that, but I couldn't get there.
Bless your
I
heart.
don't know.
Real dark.
Well,
No
everybody,
way.
you guys appreciate Nathan reading that for us?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Thank
in.
you, Nathan.
It was fun.
Thank you, Nathan.
You're
Megan was clapping.
welcome.
Good job, Nate.
Thanks. I had a hard time reading some words, but get over it. We overcome.
Hey,
I,
Lex,
Grinch was
it,
the way I rap is I just put the presents in the bag.
oh, you did?
Same.
I don't deal with other rapping people. My mom does that part.
Gotcha.
I'm too lazy.
I love rapping stuff. It's so fun.
I
I'm
hate
just,
it.
You're
I'm too
lazy.
late.
Or I can't
I-
get
Right.
It's 2:45, so maybe we'll close out here, and we'll catch everybody on the flippity flop.
Yes.
Tuesday, 10 a.m. Wednesday, I mean,
What?
Do you want to put something ding dong?
Wednesday at 10 a.m.
We'll see you on the flip side. Amy,
Yeah, I
what'd
didn't hear Nate again.
you say, Nate? Sorry, Nate. One more time.
I said we'll see you guys tomorrow, Wednesday, 10 a.m.
Who knows tomorrow's
Yes.
classics? Because we know Lance.
I don't know.
I'm
Lance,
actually-
are you hosting tomorrow?
No, I have tomorrow off because my test in the morning is at like 9:45. So I just took the whole day off.
Damn
And Joey said it's fine.
Oh.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I was gonna ask you.
What were you gonna ask me?
Why do you guys have to get
testing when nobody's at program?
Why? Well, we're just getting tested for like our own stuff. Like it's not a mandatory thing, but like if we feel like we've been out somewhere that might have contracted something, then we go get tested.
Oh, gotcha.
It's just to be
Yeah.
safe for ourselves and for
I'm
you,
like,
later
Yeah,
on.
what?
they're not forcing us. We're doing it on our own.
Yeah. But they do want us to
Okay.
try and get tested frequently, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Speaking
Which
of
will be
tests,
good if we start doing home visits again. If we go back into the red tier, then
Yeah.
we'll have recent test results.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha.
Then
So
we'll be on duty.
tomorrow, for anyone that wanted to know, is art with Jessica and then safety with Rocio.
There it is.
What time?
Okay,
No, you did not.
got it.
I'm so excited, guys.
Bye,
All right,
guys.
Amy. Bye, Jules.
Bye,
Bye, everyone.
guys.
Thanks
Bye.
again, Nate.
Bye.
Bye, Johnny. Whoa.
Bye.
Whoa. Oh, did you guys see that?
Hi, guys.
Bye, Jamin.
Bye.
Bye.